Yo, what's good people? Welcome back to a new review and welcome back to the Nerd Crate. So today is a new movie review or a new Steelbook review. John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum just hit and I got the 4K and normal Blu-ray Steelbook, and I watched the movie yesterday. It's a great movie. Like the action sequences in there that are just crazy. Sometimes a little over the top, but if you're familiar with this, there you go. If you're not familiar with this, I suppose you start at the first. They are pretty standalone. But the thing is, there are points like at the very beginning where you think, okay, why is this guy running? That's a little problematic about the trend of today's movies, right? We have stuff that builds on top of another. So you have the Avengers, Endgame. You know, imagine you're a guy like, okay, I missed everything else, but I want to start. Shall I start with Endgame? Hell no, you don't start with Endgame because you are. Why is everybody dead? Who is Thanos? What are the Infinity Stones? It's just too much. And what will you do? 7 days at home watching movies? It's a little too hard. Maybe pedal back a little bit to the good old days, standalone movies. Because if you look, Terminator 1 and 2, those were standalone movies. The first ended with her driving into the storm, because there's a storm coming. But that's it. You can have it standalone, but you can also follow it up. And James Cameron did. But still, the second one ended also on a street. It's an end. But you can also build on top of it, but there's no need to. Why always build on top of it? That's the whole remake, sequel, threequel, interquel, and also building on top of each other movie trend, and that's just a little too much. But enough of my rambling. Let's see what the Steelbook can do. And there we go. Beautiful to start off. Beautiful. We have like these, I don't know, it kind of looks like a perverted version of those church windows. I don't know the exact name for this. Sorry, I'm not a church ganger. Church goer. Attendee? Visitor. Call it whatever you like. John Wick 3, very simple on the front. Cool look of John Wick himself, Keanu Reeves. Looking very cool, and we have several interesting details on this here. We have chains and parts of guns and hooks and crannies and a cross and a skull, and here like flowers, ornaments. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. One of the most beautiful Steelbooks I ever saw. Then we come to the side and I think, wait a second. And I got the other Steelbooks for that. Also, it comes with this one. We're gonna talk about the extras in a little bit. And we got the other Steelbooks. So we got the first, right? Let's do a little comparison. The style on these two is almost exactly the same. That's okay. But what the hell about this one? German, don't be deterred. So, the spine on this one is oriented this way. The spine on this one, I'm getting crazy when I see this. And the spine on this one is again in this. Who did this? Who in the hell did this? This is really not a professional. If you ask me, this was not done by a professional. Concorde, John Wick, Blu-ray. Nothing here, only John Wick with the actor Studio Canal down below. And here we have Concorde, Lionsgate, and the chapter. Is there no one able to do this in one format, in one style? I'm sorry, this is driving me crazy. This is really driving. I don't know if my OCD kicks in, but you gotta have a right style. A pulled through 100% parallel, identical style. What's the problem to do this? Horrible. The backside, the positive. Beautiful, like a painting. I don't know if this is kind of Dali or it's super pop artsy. Absolutely beautiful. Great stuff, really great stuff. As the movie is great. I'm going to talk about a little bit on the closing credits. I have the other Blu-ray actually in my player. I forgot to take this out now. But as you see here, we got a full spread. Actually, you know what? There we go. That's it. That's way better, right? So as you see, they managed to make the art on the disc complete. How cool is that? I tried to come up with which movie it was the last time I tried to show you this, because there are times where this is done okay. It was Back to the Future. Back to the Future, it was that. The approach is always appreciated. But sometimes it's just hard. And here we see it's done perfectly. Yeah, this is done perfectly. We have the line of the couch in the back here, and it continues all the way through. This is done perfectly. Excellent. Great spread with all the characters of Mark Dacascos, Lawrence Fishburne, Halle Berry. The Adjudicator, something like Asia is in her name, I don't know, Keanu Reeves and Ian McShane on the side here. So this is done perfectly, really, really great. I just would have, like I said, I would have liked that they would have done the style of all three a little bit more the same, similar to each other, you know. But okay, the 4K also comes with this wraparound, which is not glued to it, which I did enjoy, and we have the limited edition in the Steelbook with 77 minutes of bonus material. Dolby Atmos on the 4K, 7.1 master on the Blu-ray, and a lot of bonus content, a lot where I say, okay, it's nice to have, but it's nothing we've seen anywhere. We have essentially just documentaries about the characters and the motivation on Mr. Wick, and about the excommunication, Dog Fru, amazing sequence, amazing. So I can't tell you anything more about this. So I just leave it at that and tell you a little bit about the movie, what's happening in the closing scenes. So that was the Steelbook for John Wick 3 for you. Story, of course, continues where, like I said, the other ones left off. The second one, spoiler for those that didn't see, ended with John Wick's excommunication because he killed a guy on the grounds of the Continental Hotel. So the first few minutes to half an hour, I say, is him fleeing any scene he comes through and thinks, okay, maybe I got a minute. So that's amazing. It brings him all the way over to Casablanca for an old accomplice, and all the while he gets hunted. He loses a finger too. So it continues. This is a super coherent series. Not too much sense on the story. There's not much story to it. The first was, oh, you know, his wife died and the dog then died. He lost his car, the only thing where he really thought, okay, I got a normal life. And then he needs to get back to the Baba Yaga. So that's pretty rough. You gotta say that. It is pretty rough. So if you want a coherent movie series, part 4 already confirmed, this is for you. Also, if you like Keanu Reeves and if you like a good old portion of Gun Fu. So for the execution of the piece, we have the packaging. It's a Steelbook. There's not much to it. New to it. It's just a way of doing business on a Steelbook. It's a great format. I enjoy those. Most of my movies are Steelbooks, and it's sturdy as always. The thing is where I didn't give it only 7.5 because it's in the middle of being mediocre and greatness, but it isn't only normal, is because the artwork is just beautiful. The appearance of the whole piece with the artwork and with the disc really aligning on the back slide, perfect. The bonus content, like I said, nothing you didn't really see, but same as on the Steelbook format, there's a lot on it, and I can appreciate that because bonus material seems to be a little on the back burner, to call it like that. So 0.5 more than it being just Okay, yeah, it's there. The execution of the whole package falls a little bit short on the disc menu, which is the next point, but works in unison. Because the execution of the Steelbook is perfect, the discs are perfect with the slide, like I told you. But the disc menu then again it's just mediocre. There's nothing great to it. So they could have done a little bit more. But overall, with the picture which is crisp and the sound which really booms, you need to turn it down several times during the movie. Almost perfect. It really is. But the disc menu, yeah, you see, it's nice that it's there. A few movable pieces, but when you go on there's only one menu for languages. You usually do spoken languages and written languages, and not only languages where you think like, okay, hey, what is that? That's just to turn in style. This is weird. This is really weird. And the movie, while I said it's a great movie, and I stand by that, there are several weird moments in this. Like, there's this one portion of the movie where I think, why did he do that? Like, there's this big shootout in the entrance hall of the Continental. And he shoots a guy with an armor-piercing shotgun, several inches from his chest. And the guy plummets to his death down below. What is he doing? He's shooting him while he's plummeting. He's shooting him while he's falling. He's shooting him while he's hitting the couch. He's shooting him while he's rolling down, and another shot when he hits the floor. Why? It was armor-piercing rounds. The whole choreography of the fights is perfect, but there are just several moments where I think though, huh? And also there's a shootout where the lorry with the horses of New York City is located, and you just see that one guy is shooting in John Wick's direction, and behind John Wick is a horse. And the horse isn't hit because John Wick manages to dodge the bullet. And the horse doesn't flinch. Meaning, of course, you see that the weapon is brandishing blankets. There was the cinematography a little bit off, but that's just about it. That's essentially nitpicking. And also, since I got only 8 points, it's nothing new on John Wick. It's a great movie, but it's nothing new on John Wick. It's essentially the same thing you saw on The Equalizer or something else. Nevertheless, it's a great score. It's not a bad movie. It's beautifully choreographed, excellent soundtrack. I actually think about buying the soundtrack. Keanu Reeves doesn't speak much, but he speaks tons, if you get me. So I'm just let it go with this. Sunday, the first Dinobot, I review Micon, aka Andy's Geiger Power Godenter, which is swoop, a little bit stylized, but G1 swoop. So I'm looking forward to that. I hope you do too. And if you do, and if you did like this video, please leave a subscribe, leave a like. I would highly appreciate it. And till next time, take care. Bye.